Hey guys, this is Tina from Quantum Healing with Tina. I'm a Beyond Quantum Healing practitioner, spirit releasement therapist, and intuitive empath. And today we're here with Karen. Say
Hello,
hi.
everybody. Hello. I'm an intuitive starseed, energetic healer, BQH practitioner, and channel and medium. Welcome to our
Hey.
video.
Yay. And today we're going to talk about hypnosis, some hypnosis facts and myths, what it actually feels like to be in a session. Because a lot of people have misconceptions about hypnosis and what it's supposed to feel like. I know I did when I had my first session, because when you watch them online and you see these people having the session and they're so aligned and connected, and they're, these beings are speaking through them like angels or guides or their own higher self. It looks so easy to them, and it is. But what you don't see is there's also their conscious mind there, and their conscious mind is telling them things like, you're making this all up, this isn't real. It's just like they're instilling that down, and you don't see that part. So when it happens in a session, you're not really prepared for it. So we're going to talk about that today, and what hypnosis actually is. So all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. And what that means is I'm not hypnotizing you. Like, when people think of hypnosis, they think of you like
The
swinging a watch
swing.
in front of their face. Yeah, and I can't count the amount of people that have said that to me. Or, they think that somehow as a hypnotist, which I'm not, but we just use aspects of hypnosis in a session. They think that somehow we're in control of their minds and we can make them do things like cluck like a chicken on stage, right? That is a form of hypnosis that stage hypnotists use. But for a session, basically, we're just getting into a relaxed state of being. All hypnosis is focused and concentrated attention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when you're in a session, it's not going to feel like you're knocked out and not even there, and something is taking over your body to speak for you. It's not like that at all. It's you. It just feels like a more aligned version of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because people sometimes think it's supposed to feel different than it actually is, right? They think
Right.
it's like a being is taking them over to speak, or
Right.
something like that. But it's really not like that at all. A hypnosis is really just a natural state of being, and we're in and out of it all day long when we're driving a car or reading a book or really focused on getting something done, like a work project or school project or something. It's that focused attention. That's what hypnosis is. So it's not going to feel like, you're not in your body and something is taking you over. It's just going to feel like a more aligned version of you, right? Wouldn't you
Yes.
say?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way it feels for me, it's like that moment, like if you're like laying in bed and having a conversation with someone and you're drifting off to sleep and you're still talking to them and you're still in it, but you're just very relaxed. That's all it feels like. Like you're just about to go to bed,
Right.
but you don't get there.
Right. And if you've actually ever like given advice to someone and you find yourself like these words just flowing out of your mouth and you kind of don't even know where they're coming from, that's hypnosis. That's you channeling your own inner wisdom, your higher self.
Right.
So let's just talk about the higher self misconception for a minute, because a lot of people have this block in connecting with their higher self because first of all, the words higher self make it seem like it's something outside of us that we are trying to connect to, or trying to
Right.
attain something higher than us, when it's not that at all. The higher self is within us. We're
Yes.
tapping into our own inner wisdom. It's within us. It's not something outside of us that we need to reach or attain. And a lot of people come and say, I just can't connect with my higher self. But they don't realize they already are on a daily basis. Like when you're getting those gut feelings or intuitive hits and signs and synchronicities, that's all your higher self speaking to you. It's all your inner wisdom. And just knowing that you're already connected, you don't need to achieve that connection. You are your higher self. It is you. Mm-hmm. It's just you without the conscious mind, the ego involvement. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the part of you that we're tapping into during a session. So you're not going to be able to tell that you're hypnotized. It's just going to feel natural. And again, like we're just getting into that relaxed state of being. Like the more you can relax and let go of that control, because our ego wants to have control, right? So that's what's in the forefront a lot of the time is the ego, because it wants to have that control. So the more you can relax and allow yourself to be in a state of allowance and receiving, just allowing the information to come to you. You don't have to go out and get it. You don't have to look for it. It's just going to come to you. And you're going to say the very first thing that pops into your mind. Like if I say to you right now, red or green?
Green.
Green. What did you choose? That is your intuition. That is your higher self speaking to you. And that's how you're going to use it during a session. You're just going to allow that to roll off your tongue. And the more you speak those words that pop into your mind without thinking about it, because the minute you start thinking about it, you engage the ego, you engage the conscious mind, and it's going to start asking all kinds of questions or instilling the doubt. Yeah. And telling you, oh, this is a waste of time. You're just making all of this up and blah, blah, blah. It has lots of things to say. So the most important thing I always tell people is just to come back to that trust, really having that trust in yourself, in your own inner wisdom, that you know all the answers to these questions that you're coming with. You just have to allow yourself to relax enough to tap into that inner wisdom to receive the answers. Right?
Absolutely. It's actually very easy. I mean, like I've done so many sessions already and I still know exactly what you're talking about because I still sometimes have the nerves before we do a session. Like, what if I don't see anything this time? Or what if, but it's not my responsibility. It really is like when I am connecting to somebody else, if they're giving me that ability to see. So it's not always just me. I know I could do it. But
right.
Yeah, so there's always still that my ego is still there, like saying like, okay, what if you don't see anything? Or what if it doesn't make sense? Or what if, and it's just like, well, whatever, it's not up to us to make sense of it. It's just, you just have to relay what you're getting, what you're feeling, sensing, knowing, all of it. And again, like when I explain it, it's not like I see clear pictures. I don't see clear pictures, like how I'm looking at this physical world. It's nothing like that. It's a little bit of everything, and it depends on who I'm connecting with or how whatever wants to come through that day. So I mean, I could sense it, and then I could make my imagination to match it so I could see it better, so there's interchanging, like playing with the different ways, so I could hear something and then I'll be able to see it, or I'll see something and then I'll just know what it is, and then it creates from there. It grows. So it's not always, yeah. It's not always what you think it is.
Right, because you're allowing yourself to speak it, no matter what it is, whether it's a feeling or a sensing or a knowing or a seeing, you're just allowing yourself to speak it. And the more you speak, the more you get integrated into that scene, and it starts to unfold like a story. Yes. So yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly what you want to do, is you're engaging all of your senses. It's not just about seeing. It's about, like I always use that example of when you were in the castle in your first session and you didn't specifically see a castle. You just knew you were in a castle.
And then I saw it.
And then you saw it. Right. And I use that example all the time. And also, an example from one of my sessions is I opened in a scene and all I saw was a ladder. And of course, my ego's there going, I don't know why I'm seeing a ladder. I have no idea what's going on here. But you just speak it anyway. You just say, I see a ladder. And your practitioner is going to say, okay. And then the story unfolds from there because it's in the details. Okay, well, what happened with the ladder? Why are you standing here? And I'm like, oh, I must have fallen off of this ladder and I hurt my ankle and my neighbors come and scoop me up and take me inside and heal me with their hands. Like that's how it will unfold. You just have to trust. It always comes back to the trust in yourself and your intuitive feelings, your intuitive sensing and knowing, to know that, to trust what you are experiencing and to speak it, no matter how ridiculous it sounds to the conscious mind, because sometimes it sounds ridiculous. Like if you have big hairy feet, say.
Don't call me out.
And, yeah. And your conscious mind is going, that is the most ridiculous thing ever, right? But you just have to say it anyway. Because that's why we're having this experience, to experience these things that you don't get to experience in your everyday life.
Right.
It's only when you go on a magical journey like this that you get to see yourself like that. So, yeah, it's just important to keep coming back to that trust. Another thing, people think that like somehow I'm in control over their minds, but it's not like that at all. You're always in control. You can open your eyes at any time. It's really just like being in a guided meditation. You're just speaking back what you're seeing or experiencing. So you're always in control. Nobody's in control of your mind. And no one's going to talk for you. Like people think it's supposed to feel different, or like an angel's going to step in and start speaking for them and giving them answers. But it doesn't exactly work like that. It is you, and it is really about trusting yourself and your own inner knowing. So, yeah, and if you feel like it's not working, we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going and trying and trying. Like, I'm not going to give up on you. We're just going to keep trying until you're able to come into that trust in yourself and see. And if it's a tandem session, then Karen will be there to assist you. And a lot of times that is incredibly validating, because just having that feedback and knowing like she's on the same page as you, it's just like, it allows you to deepen your trust in yourself. And that's why so many people come to us for tandem sessions, because they have that fear of not being able to connect, or feeling blocked from their higher self, when they're really not at all. I really don't believe that anyone is completely blocked from their higher self. It's just the perception that they are, and the fear and the performance anxiety that people can get when it comes to that time to speak, and you kind of feel that anxiety.
Yes.
Yeah. What else? What other hypnosis myths? Yeah, you're not by yourself. You're never alone during a session like this. You will be like the most loved and supported you've ever been, because your guides and higher self has been preparing you, up until that point. And then if it's a tandem session, Karen and I really hold that loving space, and all of our teams are there too. Everyone is there supporting you in your healing. So it's really a beautiful place to be in. What else? Oh, imagination. Imagination is extremely important. You know, as we grow up, our imagination is really suppressed. You know, we're told, oh, that's just your imagination, you're just making that up. But what it really is you are tapping into the quantum field, and the quantum field holds everything that ever was, everything that is, and all that will be. And when you use your imagination, you're tapping into that field to pull information to you. So you're not actually making anything up at all, which is really cool. And, you know, I have a strong conscious mind. So I've been through all of these things, you know, and I've had to, this is how I've learned to trust in myself and use my imagination and understand that my higher self isn't something outside of me, that it actually is me. And you're just tapping into that, your own inner wisdom. Did I miss anything?
From the list that you made me write today? I think you covered a lot of the main points. I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. It really isn't what you think it is. And I understand, because I could put myself in the shoes of them, because I'm in it all the time, right? And because it still happens to me. So I can only imagine what it is when you're a first timer and it's not at all what you, yeah, I could imagine you're just kind of like, what the hell's going on? I don't feel anything. I don't see anything. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And you have that anxiety, like, oh my God, I have to say something.
Right.
So it's all building on top of everything. So I understand.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just really subtle. Like the session we did yesterday, I had a little bit of apprehension in it. It was a surrogate session that we did, and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna see. Usually, sometimes depending on who we're connecting with, I will get images before everything happens. This one I didn't get nothing. Blank. So I was like, okay, we'll see, you know. But like things started to happen. Like she put me in an induction and I was just kind of relaxing. And usually like when we get to about like creating the portal part, then I start like, oh my God, there's nothing happening. Like I have to like, but we never got to that point. But yeah, just so in induction, I was just like in it. And then all of a sudden I saw what I saw, you know, like I was on this long road in the desert and I was like, okay, there it is. And
Yeah.
then when I see things like that and understanding what's happening, I just allow it to play. And then when I know that it's done, it's because the images loop. So I'm just seeing what I have to see. And then
Right.
that's when I know I have to report back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just, and it's really just like a daydream, you know,
Yes.
like the images aren't going to be super clear like a movie screen, but it's more like a daydream, just like you know, wandering in your mind or dreaming.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great way to get, I mean, it's a good practice. I mean, if you really are, I really do recommend like the videos that Tina recommends. You guys you have to do your homework because like
You have to prepare.
you have to prepare. It's really important to prepare. I mean, if you're going to invest in yourself and do this kind of session, you have to find the time to do it, or
Yeah.
at least, you know, have some kind of background and like maybe some meditations or guided stuff. But from the sessions that I've done, like in tandems, like Tina will go through like a couple of like visualization exercises, which I find for the most part people are pretty receptive to it.
Yeah.
And they're already in set, you know, because there's no pressure there. But it's just like when it's their turn to really talk, it's like sometimes it goes blank and it's like I get it, you know, like again we're just expecting like, you know, being cued to see something or feel something or hear something.
Yeah.
But But I think like that serves a purpose also for the people who are in it as well. Like if I'm there, like I can easily get information too if they're open and willing. So that's how I know that they do have a connection to their higher self, because I can connect to it. So it's just a part of them that either needs to just relax and listen and get the healing as I'm speaking and giving them the information that I'm receiving, or it's just, what is it? That's usually what it is. I mean, like they're just there for the experience. At least they're going to be there to receive what they need. So,
Well, some people that come for tandems just really need to be in that space for the healing. And
yes.
it's not, because every session is perfect. Everyone gets exactly what they need. So the people that really don't see anything at all are the people that really just need to be there and get their healing, because it's those people that really are carrying around some heavy, dense energies that they need help with clearing. So I find that those people probably aren't really meant to have the experience if they don't have one. And the more they work on clearing out those denser energies from the body, the more in tune they'll become. And then later on down the line, we'll be primed to have an experience. But like Karen said, it's really important to prepare yourselves and to start getting your imagination going by doing the visualizations and practice regressions. Because that's really important if you do want to have an experience to get the brain primed and ready to go.
Yes.
Yeah. The imagination ready to go. So yeah.
Yeah, my first session, I saw myself as a bird. So that was like really like, okay, like what, you just say it anyway.
Yeah.
Like you'd be really surprised at what you see that I would imagine that people would not want to say because because they're judging it. It sounds dumb. Like I don't want to. I'm not a bird.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my first session, I saw myself as Cleopatra, and I'm like, there's no way I can't even say this. It just sounded so ridiculous to my mind, to my ego. Yeah. So a lot of the things you see or experience in a session is your ego is going to be like, that's crazy. Like, you can't say that,
Right.
That's what it's going to be saying. You cannot say that out loud. But you have to realize is like, that's what we want to hear. Like, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that you're a big blue bird in the middle of a castle. Like, I live for this stuff. I want to hear that. You're not going to surprise or shock me with anything that you have to say. So yeah, that's the fun of it, is exploring all these different multi-dimensional realms of existence that we live in. Yeah.
Yes.
And the other thing too is just really letting go of all expectations, because until you have a session, you can't really know what to expect. So whether you have expectations of your questions getting answered or the healing you're supposed to get, or what it's going to be like, just leave them. Really,
Yes.
just leave them all at the door, because it's not going to be anything you think it's going to be. And I
No.
can tell you that right now, if this
It,
is your first session,
yeah.
definitely.
It really just requires your presence. No
Yeah,
thinking, just being in it, and that's it.
yeah, just being. What was that?
What?
I like something fell.
Oh.
Yeah, really just letting go and allowing and relaxing and receiving, and it's really that simple. But for the conscious mind, that can be a really hard thing sometimes, but
Yes.
that's what's required to have a session. So yeah, And then, you know, you might have an okay time during it. Like your conscious mind might be okay. But then as soon as you wake up from it, it's going to be like, oh my God, that's crazy. You did not just see all that. You just made all of that up.
I
Like
know.
that couldn't be possible. That is not real. You are not a blue bird, you know. But that's usually the first instinct upon waking up. But you just have to keep coming back again over and over to the trust that it is all very much real. And we do live all of these alternate levels of existence, you know. We are multidimensional beings. Um, so yeah. And whether it's actually real or your subconscious is showing you maybe a metaphor for what you needed to learn, it's all very real and relevant to you and for your healing. So yeah. Anything to add?
Do your homework.
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole bunch of stuff on our website to prepare yourself, how to prepare with resources available. And basically, it's really just doing the visualizations and engaging your imagination is the most important thing. Yeah. And just letting go of all expectations, really, just letting go. And again, I'm going to stress that the higher self isn't something outside of you. The higher self is you. And you might even feel like you know a lot of the information that's coming through. And that's because you do, because you are your higher self.
Right.
Like a lot of people that are really super connected and intuitive and super spiritual and like have this daily interaction and conversations with their own self, higher self, they're kind of leave a little bit disappointed because they're like, I already knew all that. Well, yeah, you did because
I
you are
hope so. That's a good sign.
connected.
That's a
Yeah,
great sign.
that's a really good sign because you are your higher self. That is who you are because we are integrating more and more of who we are. So more and more people are feeling like they already know these things. Well, of course you do. So
Yeah, I would like to
yeah,
think that they did.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah, great. So I hope that's helpful. Let us know in the comments if you've ever had a session and what that was like for you. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.